This episode is brought to you by Anchor. If you haven't heard about the Anchor app, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. For starters, it's completely free of charge. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you, so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more major podcasting services automatically. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership, and it's everything you need to make a podcast in one single place. So go ahead, download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Thank you and enjoy the episode. Hello.
Hey Danny, what's up?
Yeah, what's up? You good? You good?
Yeah,
Welcome to
good.
episode 9 of Gunner and the Devil.
Yes,
Welcome back.
episode 9. Welcome back,
Welcome back.
everyone.
Yeah, welcome back. Second episode of 2021. What a year it's been so far.
Yeah, hope everyone's been keeping warm. It's been super cold, and I think there's snows in some parts of the UK.
Yeah, it snows a lot of parts, and of course, happy lockdown.
Yeah,
so
again,
the first
lockdown,
episode of lockdown. Obviously, that's
lockdown 2.0, national lockdown, right?
yeah, exactly. Another is it second or third lockdown? The second proper one, isn't it?
I think the national lockdown is second one, but it technically is the third one because we had tier systems before that, isn't it?
Yeah, we had the one before Christmas. I don't know if that's a proper one.
Yeah.
But
So this is like a proper lockdown now, like in the one in had been last March.
Yeah, that's a big one, a big topic, and it's like it's
we'll
carried
cover
on
that as
from
well,
last year.
what it
Yeah,
means,
we'll cover that.
What it means for football towards the end.
What it means for football. Yeah,
Right.
That'll be one of the topics to cover. I think there's a lot going around in the football world, isn't it? This week, especially.
Yeah. So let me just introduce to the viewers in regards to the topics we're going to be discussing for today's episode, Gunner and a Devil.
Yeah.
So I will be discussing sort of like a match reviews on both the last two games Manchester United had, which was Man City and Leeds in the cup games. I will be looking ahead of previewing the Burnley game and the Liverpool game coming up.
Yeah.
And we're going to be talking about a lot about transfers and transfer speculation because we're in full swing. We've got Fabrizio Romano tweeting various things.
Yeah, Wayne was about incomings and outgoings.
In relation to Manchester United. That's me covering the Manchester United stuff. Danny, what are you going to be covering for Arsenal?
Obviously the similar things with us in terms of our review of our FA Cup match yesterday, which we went down to the wire, but we're going to that. Obviously we didn't play midweek, so it's just that much to cover in terms of review this week. And then covering the preview for the next Premier League games, which there'll be some in midweek up there, and then there's that, and then obviously Mesut Ozil is a big topic. There's been a strong links that he's going away. By the time this episode out, he might have already gone, but that's one topic. And
some transfers.
The transfer side of things is obviously plenty of rumours in terms of Arsenal and. The getting the deadwood out and getting the creativity in, that's a big thing for us right now. I think that's a priority for Mikel.
Awesome.
And obviously the third lockdown, like I said before, third lockdown's impact on football as a whole, isn't it? So
we'll I think with the lockdown thing, we'll discuss it right at the end after transfer.
Towards the end after our individual clubs. That's it.
Awesome. So before I pose the question to Danny and hand it over to Danny in relation to the topics, Danny, can you remind the viewers where this podcast will be available?
On my side, it will be available on Spotify, Apple, Google Podcasts, all the major podcasting platforms. You can catch us on anchor.fm/Gunner and the Devil as well, directly on the platform we actually distribute the podcast from. And it's on iHeartRadio, Amazon Podcasts, or basically any of your preferred podcasting apps is on there. And also, sooner after, you'll be on your YouTube channel, Draco.
Yeah, so my one's 24 hours behind yourself because you're the podcast guy, so you're the priority. So my one will be uploads every Monday, and I'm going to aim for a 8 p.m. upload every Monday for the podcast.
Right.
So that everyone finishes work and they can kind of listen in after work. And it will also on my Twitter, I've got on my pin section all the platforms at Draco_Evolve or Draco Evolve, I believe. And Danny, your Twitter is
Mr. DNA 007. By the way, we've obviously created a page for our podcast on Twitter as well, called After Gunner and the Devil. So we'll tweet the content in relation to Arsenal, Manchester United transfer news, match news, as well as obviously advertise our podcast episodes. So go follow that.
what we plan to do is we discussed in the previous episode where Danny's gonna take care of the Twitter side of things, which is what we created specifically for this podcast,
Yeah,
and I'll be
exactly.
working in the background for the Twitch stuff that's gonna be happening
Yeah.
at the end of January launch.
That's our plan. Yeah, end of January we'll try to
Yeah.
start doing live podcasting. In
Yeah,
addition
so
to
it's
this
going to be
week.
separated from our own sort of personal accounts right now. However, we will be retweeting those tweets from the main account on our personal account to get
Yeah, so
more
the rest
reach.
of our followers from there can obviously transfer over
Yeah.
and support that as well. So yeah,
Awesome.
go follow that.
Superb. So, Danny, let's go. If your one in terms of what do you want to talk about first? Match review, the midweek game you had.
Yeah, let's go. Let's
to
go
us.
for the FA Cup first. You know, yesterday
Yep.
we had a really tense clash, to say the very least. You know, very eventful match, and we came up against, like I said before, we came up against an all Premier. It was all Premier League clash. We came against a Premier League team, unlike the rest of the big teams around us. And you know, we played a pretty strong team. You know, we played Pablo Mari, brought David Luiz back into the foray. I didn't want Leno to be rested because I thought he'd be crucial, and he did turn out to be crucial, as I'll get onto.
I think with goalkeepers, they shouldn't be really rested.
Yeah, goalkeepers shouldn't really be rested, but like, another thing is you guys have been doing that. I know you'll get onto it, but you've been resting De Gea, haven't you? But luckily for us, we haven't been resting Leno. I think we do need him because at the moment we don't really have a backup keeper.
The thing with
we
United,
have Runarsson, but like I said,
the thing with United, we can afford to rest again because our backup keeper is actually really good.
Your back. It's like what Emi Martinez was for us last season. Obviously, he wanted first team football. You can understand that, but the replacement for him was abysmal. So it's like I didn't want to see him come into the team. I'm glad Mikel could see that.
I can see Arteta has played some of the so-called deadwoods like David Luiz, Willian as well.
So-called deadwood, but yeah, I don't personally mind David Luiz too much. But Willian starting again was really. You know how much I've really haven't liked his time at Arsenal. So a lot of Arsenal fans would agree with me on that. I think, especially getting him on the wages that he's been on, he's just not delivering. Youngsters are showing players like him how to perform. You know what I mean?
Who's this Mari guy?
Yeah, Pablo Mari. I did speak about on the last episode. He was he's a cheaper option of a defender. We scouted him from Flamengo in Brazil, I believe.
Is he young?
Pablo Mari, no, he's not. I don't think he's young. I don't know exactly how old he is. He's one of the main senior defenders. I don't know exactly how old he is.
Okay, fair.
But he stepped in while Gabriel's been out with COVID, and I think he could have played today, Gabriel Magalhaes. But I think Mikel's thinking I don't want to risk him. Yeah. I've just checked his age for you, but he's 27, so it's the same age as Partey. So he's in the age of his prime. Yeah. So he came back from his long-term injury, and he came back into the lineup ahead of Gabriel. I'm glad he rested Gabriel because obviously the midweek league games coming, which we get onto. Partey as well came back from injury. Like they're both fit to play this game. You know, they're both.
Oh, that's good. But Partey didn't play. I think
Gabriel and Partey, neither of them played. Initially, I was kind of disappointed, but then I remember even though we're defending this trophy, we're still playing a strong lineup, and the league is really the priority at this stage in time. And unless we get really far in this again, our priority will be to go and win it again.
Your future captain Tierney got an assist.
Yeah. Oh my days. I'll get onto him. But yeah, Cedric Soares in right back. I wanted Ainsley Maitland-Niles to play. I'm not really a huge fan of Cedric Soares. He came from Southampton. I didn't really get that signing in the first place. Unlike Pablo Mari, he was only £4 million, and he's stepped in and done a really good defensive duty for us.
Danny, carry on talking. Yeah.
Go ahead. Cedric Soares came in, and he was he's not the main right back, but he came in and he's done a decent job. I wouldn't say he's been amazing, but you know we've had him. He's come in. Kieran Tierney, like I said, my left back and my future captain. You know, like I said on the last episode, he's come in and you know the key is finding that consistency in his form. You know. He was the main guy distributing those chances. I think. Yeah. This season he's distributing like a crap load of chances. Like I think something like 27 chances, which for a left back is, you know, I read a tweet that said that 27 chances he created, and I think only 2 of them have been put away. If you include the Aubameyang tap in today, but Tierney was putting crossing after crossing after crossing, and we didn't have that type of striker in there. You know. Aubameyang plays centrally in there today, but I don't know if he really suits. I know we were crying out for it to happen. I know what you're going to say. We were crying out for Aubameyang to come into to play centrally, which he did. Yeah, and he had a tough the majority of the 120 minutes of that match. He had a tough time.
To be fair, Newcastle played 5 at the back, 4 across the midfield, and just Andy Carroll.
I mean, it's prime Bruce ball, isn't it, Robin?
Yeah, it's just literally
it's Steve Bruce's prime tactics.
literally park the bus with the big guy up front and hoof it
Yeah,
towards
Andy
him.
Carroll, which by the way he could have scored the winner, but I'll get onto that. We played El Neni and Willock, which I wasn't too happy with midfield, but he rested Xhaka and he came on and he was actually one of the best players on the pitch. And you know
Mm,
me, I don't really rate Xhaka that much, but he came on and he was playing those passes in. So if you
mm,
look at Aubameyang, if you go back and watch Aubameyang's goal,
mm.
he played in such a defense splitting pass, like through them. He's like a Xavi. I know he's nowhere near as good as Xavi, but he's like a Xavi-esque
Yeah,
pass. And
yeah.
for Tierney, you just whip it in, and it was like a tap in for Aubameyang.
Mm.
But yeah, he had a decent game. He came on. El Neni, Willock, I don't really rate that much. Like out of the young players, I did rate him before, but I don't know. Like compared to like people like Saka
Mm.
and Smith Rowe, he came on and scored the win. I'm absolutely ecstatic for him.
I
But
see.
a big thing about him is I don't know if you saw it at the end of the match. He actually got sent off, like towards the end of the match.
I didn't see that.
You didn't see, but basically what happened was that he came in for a really like a lunging tackle on, I can't remember the Newcastle player he went in on, but like he looked like he put his studs towards his leg. So basically, the referee initially sent him off, and everyone was going crazy about it. Like even I didn't think it was a
And there
red.
was no V. Was there any
No,
VAR on
no,
this
yeah,
attack?
that's what I was about to say. Like VAR checked it and
Okay.
overturned the decision. So he was walking off the pitch and he was still like dilly dallying on the touchline, thinking,
Yeah.
do I go or not? And my dad was shouting, I'm like, why didn't he get off? Like, why he's taking the mick with it? But he stayed there and he was like thinking, I genuinely don't think there's a red card. Have a look. And then the referee went to the monitor, checked it, and he could see on the replay that it was actually the side of his foot that went into his leg. So there
Mm,
wasn't enough of contact for it to be a red. So
mm.
the referee looked like he really had it wrong. Like he realized
Fair
what he'd done.
play.
So yeah, fair play to him. But I think it was a bad decision in the first place. I'm so glad that he didn't get sent off because it's not
Mm,
just this match. It would have had a backwards effect because then the next three matches of the league he would have been out for, wouldn't he? And
mm.
I've said about the past couple of games how good Smith Rowe's been. So he overturned into a yellow. I'm really relieved for him because it's just as well that he started off with a red card and then he ended up getting the winning goal, in the
Yeah.
extra time. He's actually mad in it. And just by the way, I do want to say get well soon to Gabriel Martinelli. I think he got injured in the warm-up. He was in the starting 11, ready to start
Mm.
this game. It's a really real shame because I think he was really going at it in the warm-up. He's running for the ball. I think he like twisted his ankle somehow, like he
Is he out
sprained
for
it. I
long?
think. Yeah, we don't know yet.
Okay.
Arteta said after the game that he doesn't look good. I went to the surgery room, the medical room after the match, or at half time, I think it was, and he saw Gabby was in tears. So
Mm.
that can never be a good sign, can he? He's such a young
Nah,
lad. I feel sorry for him because it's like he's made of glass, but he has a potential to be the next big thing. You know what I mean? Like we
yeah,
compare him to your wonder kid, which is Greenwood. We
yeah,
say like we always compare them and say, he could be the next big thing if he could actually stay fit. I don't want him
yeah,
to turn. I don't want him to turn into another Jack Wilshere. You know how Jack Wilshere was.
yeah.
He was a
Came on,
wonder kid as a youngster. He was so
yeah,
good, and then injuries just like
destroyed his
kind of
career.
ruined.
Yeah.
Yeah, destroyed his career in a way. Yeah, even though he was all right for us, but he didn't reach the heights he should have reached. If you know what I
Mm.
mean. So I hope that'll happen with Martinelli. I wish him the very best. We're still waiting to see the results of that scan. So I'm just praying. I'm just making dua now that he's okay because he's like for his age, he's fantastic, and he would be a starting forward. He was like before, and he only just came back from a long-term injury. Don't forget, like from the
Yeah,
first
he
lockdown.
did, isn't it?
And
Yeah.
just after he came from the first lockdown, he got injured like in the summer, and then he was out until he just came back just before Christmas. So
Mm.
I felt bad for him. But Reece Nelson came in. He played okay. Another youngster, by the way. But I think
Yeah.
Nelson. The thing with him is a lot of Arsenal fans have been debating is whether he should actually go out on loan because he's dropping like fives and sixes out of tens. But I don't think he's on at the moment. He's not giving performances on the level of Martinelli or Saka, who are like on the same youngster level as him. So
Yeah.
I think he's a bit older than him. So I think Nelson's 20, Saka might have 19. I'd say they're better. So I think if I was Mikel, I'd try and loan him out. I don't know what the plans are with him. But in terms of loans and sales outgoing, like I said, we'll talk about in the transfer section. But
Mm.
Willian, I think he's past it, isn't he? Like he
Yeah,
was
he's
past.
just a mercenary. Not
He was a bit
mercenary
of a
now, but he
joke of
just
a
passed.
signing.
Yeah.
Yeah, like as much as I'll
Last big
find.
paycheck.
Yeah, last big paycheck. I think he should just go to the MLS or something and
Yeah.
pull us out of our misery. I think we should have went for someone like Zaha, someone in that position. Like as Willian's old and he ain't giving us.
Which I want, one of the things I do want to discuss on the transfer bit. Zaha
Yeah,
came
I
out
mean,
this.
the transfer section is gonna be quite hefty today. I mean, there's a lot of
Yeah,
like
yeah,
rumors that have been going around.
because I'll pose that question in the transfer bar just as a reminder to the viewers.
Hmm.
Zaha came out this week, and
Yeah. Yeah, I know
talking
what
about
you're gonna
Pepe,
say.
isn't it? Yeah, so we'll
Yeah,
discuss that
yeah.
towards the end
Yeah,
as well. That's
we'll
quite
discuss that.
interesting.
We'll save the best for last.
Yeah,
But Willian. I think if you're gonna go for him, I think it's a really poor signing from Mikel. I was disappointed, and Edu, like, I know he's the Brazilian link, with Martin, but Martinelli is levels above even Willian. Like, he has a passion. Willian just looks like a passenger half the time when I see him play
yeah.
for us.
His best years are behind him.
Yeah, his best years are definitely behind. I don't get me wrong. I rated him at Chelsea for most of the years he was there,
Yeah,
but we got
yeah,
him way too late, like 3-4 years too late,
yeah,
in my opinion. And obviously, there's a debate going on about Nicolas Pepe. Pepe used to be a couple of weeks back. He was competing with Willian for the right wing position. I think you remember me saying.
yeah.
But
I
yeah, I
remember.
think he started together, and we played 4-2-3-1. We played Willian in the number 10 role. We played Pepe on the right wing, and there's been debates going around. Is the role of that being a starting right wing at Arsenal too much for Pepe? You know what I'm saying? Because
Mm.
like I said, we snubbed Zaha and we went for Pepe for a hefty £72 million fee. And so
Yeah,
is he living up to that price tag? Definitely no. That's
mm.
not a mystery. It's like your Harry Maguire. It's like,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
in terms of the price tag, he's not living up to it, and he's not getting in the games ahead of, like, in the lineups in the league ahead of, like, Saka, Martinez. So it makes you wonder, like, is it time for him to move on? Or me personally, I'll give him another chance. I think he needs a consistent run of games. You know what I'm saying, to
mm.
find some form, like at
Mm.
least 5-10 league games to start.
Yeah.
Obviously, Martinez is injured now. I don't know how long for. Let's see if that affects things and just brings him back into the starting lineup. Obviously, I wish the best for Martinelli, but Pepe is a big debate, isn't it? So
Mm.
let's wait and see what happens with that one. That's just
Awesome.
Smith.
So
Smith Rowe came on, Xhaka came on, and one more thing I want to raise about that lineup. Lacazette, he came on, and I think Lacazette at the moment is better suited as a central striker than Aubameyang at the moment. So I wanted
yeah,
to
because he's
say,
on form, isn't it?
yeah, he's on form. He was on goal scoring form. I can understand why you might want to rest him in the cup, but we
Yeah,
are the holders. We do want to take it seriously, don't we? So
yeah.
he came on and he held up the ball well for Smith Rowe's goal. So I want to give him props as well. And just the goalkeeper as well. The final applaudis for, because if you see at the end of normal time,
Mm.
Andy Carroll was actually in, and he had like 2 or 3 pops at the ball, and each time Leno saved it, and then he grabbed the ball. It's right at the end of normal time as well. So I could be
Oh,
sitting here
really?
right now saying that Arsenal couldn't defend the FA Cup out already. You know what I mean? So that's, like I said before, the importance of starting Leno, not resting him. Goalkeepers don't need rest. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
So especially if you don't have a good backup keeper like we don't at the moment. We
Yeah.
got Leno in, and he's done a fantastic job, and he saved us the tie basically. I think massive credit to Leno. He's my goalkeeper.
Mm.
I rate him. I rate him more than Martinez. A lot of Arsenal fans saying, "Oh, we shouldn't have sold Martinez." I agree, we shouldn't have. He's a good, option to have there, but
Yeah.
to rotate with Leno. But I think Leno, massive props to him because he kept us in the tie. Andy Carroll could have won it at the end. It's just a good news they can't finish in it, Carroll.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my team covered, and on
Is
to the
is
next
that is
round.
that only one game Arsenal had this week?
Yeah, so I went into extra detail already because of the midweek we didn't
Oh
play, did
wow.
we? We were out of the League Cup, didn't we? You guys
Yeah,
played City.
yeah.
Yeah, well, that's my review of this week. We're going to the previews later, in it. So it's over
Okay,
to you
yeah.
for your 2 reviews this week.
Yeah, so my one, first of all, is the Man City game.
Mm-hmm.
We played a very strong lineup, like legitimately apart from Henderson, we
Yeah,
had everyone that normally starts for us playing. We had Bruno, Pogba, Fred, McTominay,
yeah.
Maguire, Shaw, Wan-Bissaka,
Because that was
Rashford
in
last year.
the Carabao Cup, you'd expect this semi, isn't it? But
Yeah, it's a semi-final. But although in relation to Man City, they put up a very strong lineup as well, despite the fact that half the squad was
oh
isolating,
yeah,
right?
I didn't remember Pep coming out before the match saying I don't
Yeah,
even have
yeah.
enough players, do I?
So yeah, they didn't.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
looking at the bench, at that time they had a very weaker bench. Some of the players I've never heard of, like Mbete, Howard Bellis,
I think,
Trafford.
yeah, the youngsters, yeah, you have to dish
Yeah.
them out, didn't
So what was disappointing me about that game is that we just couldn't break them apart. Bruno Fernandes, I think, had one of his worst games in his career at Manchester United, which is a
Yeah.
rarity. But Man City played really well. Like Ruben Diaz and Fernandinho, that game was immense, right?
Oh yeah, Ruben Diaz, massive. He's a great defender. Great
Massive. Like
signing.
Kevin De Bruyne played like a number 9 position or something like that.
Yeah, something weird. I think like a false nine because I don't think they had
Yeah,
out and out striker, did they?
yeah. They didn't have an out-and-out
Mm.
striker, and
Yeah.
actually, Man City ripped us to pieces. And the frustrating thing for us is that we considered both the goals from set pieces. and it shouldn't be the
Oh
case.
yeah, I remember Maguire was just I think it
Yeah,
was first goal. He was just
yeah,
walking,
and
wasn't he? Just
the biggest
standing.
complaint a lot of people, and including myself, have been having is that Lindelof and Maguire, and I've said it in the podcast many times, Lindelof and Maguire does not work. They do not work as a centre back pair.
Yeah, I read Bailly. I think he's injured now, isn't he?
Yeah. So
Yeah,
we'll get to Bailly as well.
yeah.
So
Go on to it.
Bailly was obviously he picked up a knock the previous week, so I think
Yeah.
rightly so he was rested. But we should have someone like a Twanzebe playing next to Maguire, Lindelof, because Twanzebe is fast. And again, we come back to Twanzebe because they both of them played against Watford the other day.
Yeah.
So the game itself, Manchester United didn't have many chances. City were pretty much in control throughout the whole game. I think Pep Guardiola learnt his lesson in relation to Manchester United, where we easily counter-attack them every time. We've had really good results against them using that tactic.
Yeah.
But there seems to be a shift of pattern the last couple of games against Man City, where Man City don't push up too far ahead,
Yeah.
fearing the counter, but they think they basically cracked our code, and we struggled. We genuinely struggled. Bruno Fernandes, as I said, had one of his worst games. Martial did it wasn't even fair
Yeah.
that
Bruno actually dropped a stinker, didn't
yeah, he was a stinker. And
he?
the
Yeah, it's
worst
a
thing
rare one. Right?
is that we had our strongest team, and they had pretty much their strongest team as well. But the bench was really, really weak, which meant that at one point they needed to make a substitution change, right?
Yeah.
And if we pushed them enough, we would have forced their hand because they only made one substitute the whole game. They
Yeah,
didn't
I
use the
just
three.
saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, so unfortunately we didn't get the result that we wanted. But hey, as I said, Carabao Cup, I don't really mind. It wasn't too much disappointment for me. The biggest disappointment in the
You
game
don't think
is
it's too much? You see, yet another semi, Robin. You got to consider
yeah,
that because there
yeah,
are four semi-finals, I think, under Ozil
yeah.
you've
But
lost.
with Carabao Cup, for some reason the passion I have for a cup competition is not there for Carabao Cup.
Yeah, not like
So,
FA Cup. FA Cup, the
yeah,
passion's
if
there. Innit?
if I was in the FA Cup semi final and we went out, I would have been dying.
Yeah,
I'd be
like
screaming.
last, like I'm saying, like last year's one of the
Yeah,
ones that you
yeah, I'll be
lost before
very
you.
angry.
You could have
Carabao
faced us. That would have been
Yeah,
fine, wouldn't it?
exactly. But the biggest disappointed for me in the game was Donny van der Beek. So we know that
Oh
Donny
yeah,
van
yeah.
der
He
Beek,
didn't start that match. He did the
he didn't start,
Carabao
and
Cup.
the worst thing is that he came on at 2-0 down. He came
Yeah.
on
Oh, yeah. The couple minutes left. I saw
a couple minutes.
Goldbridge going
It's
in
like
about
that
oh my
is
god.
that is an embarrass. That is shambles.
And
That
you
is
2-0
shambles.
down. He was like, "What's he gonna do? A couple of minutes? He's gonna
Yeah,
turn
yeah.
into prime,
It's not
Zidane."
fair on the kid. We'll come back to him
Exactly.
anyway. That was the
Yeah.
biggest disappointment. So overall, the game, I felt that Man City deserved it. I didn't feel that we were at the park. We were just played off the park, and I think a lot of these players, I think their attention is more towards the league and the FA Cup coming up, right?
Yeah.
Right. Moving on to FA Cup. So it was a pretty much a boring game. 1-0 we won.
Yeah.
McTominay.
I saw it's pretty drab. You got the early
Yeah.
goal. Yeah.
McTominay 1-0 right at the beginning, and the rest of the game was a bit of a forgettable game. However,
Oh.
however, what I want to talk about is the lineup in that game. So I was super. This lineup excited me more than the Man City lineup because, as you know, Danny, I said I want to see the likes of Twanzebe and rotation. Van der Beek, Greenwood
Yeah,
start.
make use of the fringe and the young
Yeah.
players in
In,
it. Yeah.
in that game, we had a lot of changes. We almost played. We didn't. Not almost. We played apart from the goalkeeper. I'm not counting the goalkeeper,
Yeah.
but we played totally different 11 versus the one that we played Man City. Only
Yeah. Totally.
McTominay, the only outfield player,
McTominay.
he
He's
was
like
the
he'll
only one
start guaranteed
yeah,
no matter what
he was the
competition.
only one starting from the
Yeah.
game at Man City, which shows that the squad depth that we have is pretty good because we
Yeah.
had the
Fair
likes
play.
of Mata, James, Greenwood,
But
Van.
Lingard in the number
Oh
10 instead of
God, yeah, we'll
Bruno.
come
What a
back.
downgrade.
I'll come back to that. But
Yeah.
I was happy to see. I think again, as I said, Bailly and Twanzebe played, and Twanzebe was an absolute monster that game. So I was kind of like upset to
Yeah.
see Lindelof and Maguire play the previous game before, where clearly we know that it doesn't work. It should be Twanzebe, at least, and Bailly.
Tuan's a good young defender. Yeah.
Yeah. He provides something that Lindelof and Maguire doesn't have, which is the pace.
Yeah, that partnership doesn't work because they're both like they're not got pace, so they need one that has a bit of
Yeah,
pace to make
yeah.
to yeah.
But the lineup was much needed. There's a couple of surprises for me that I haven't seen for a long time. So
Lingard
Williams,
has to be the surprise.
yeah, Williams is definitely one. I haven't seen him for a long time. He's suddenly
Oh,
in.
Brandon Williams. Yeah, I think you
Yeah,
said on the last episode you don't know what happened to him.
yeah,
Could be off the
exactly.
pitch. Or...
I think they only listen to our podcast and you know,
yeah, he's like, oh,
going-
yeah, okay, I'm not to start him now. Robin said it.
yeah. But I was
But yeah.
happy to see Van der Beek start. But before we get
Yeah,
to Van,
he
I'll
took
talk
an FA
about,
Cup match against Watford to start him.
Yeah. And Lingard is I thought he left the club, but suddenly he's come on.
he just got exiled. He was even in the 25-man squad for the league.
He is.
He is. Oh, even
Unfortunately,
Ozil couldn't, but
yeah,
Lingard
because
could.
he's in, but he's in the bench, but he's never a used person.
So half the time he's not even in the matchday squad.
Yeah,
Though, is he, like,
but we'll come back to the transfer section in relation to him actually. But Lingard for me overall, it just shows that how poor he is. He had a poor game. He didn't do much. Probably some of it because he didn't play many competitive games. It is his first game in a very long.
He won't be sharp if he's not playing.
Yeah, he won't be sharp. Action. But it just shows they are really. He is really poor and needs a move. He's 28 years old, for God's sake.
Lingard is 20. He's still young. He's got plenty of time to develop. He's 28. I can't even believe that. It's time flies, isn't it?
Right. So my biggest thing is my review of Donny van der Beek. Donny van der Beek had an absolutely good, fantastic game that game. And it begs the question that
he played good against Watford.
He played really good. The problem what I feel is that if he plays really good, he's taking his chances, fair play to the lad. It's quite criminal to kind of have him play only 3 minutes against Man City.
That is just diabolical, isn't it?
At least give the guy a chance. Like bring him on if there's 15-20 minutes to go, not 3 minutes to go. By the time you take a throw in, time's up. But I'm glad Van der Beek played well. He is knocking on the door. I hope Ole Gunnar Solskjaer starts seeing Donny van der Beek as a more integral part, like rather than just playing him 5 minutes there, 10 minutes there, 3 minutes there.
Yeah, I think he's got the quality to be a starting midfielder, especially in the future. I think
he is a very clever player. Any player coming out from Ajax. Yeah, he's a clever player.
He's actually similar to, like I said about Hussein Aouar. He's actually similar to that type of player.
Exactly.
He's got potential. Yeah,
exactly. He's a Dutch international. He's a first team at Ajax who won trophies. I mean, he's not like a player coming in like a Daniel James, where a championship or thing. But it just goes to show that Van der Beek does provide quality to the team. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I reckon, much like how you mentioned in relation to Willian, there is a good player. We know there is a good player. They just need a bit of a run in the team.
I think you mean Pepe, not Willian.
Sorry, Pepe, my bad.
Yeah, Pepe, no problem. But like he's younger and he's got space like to grow.
Yeah. And Donny van der Beek is still young. So Donny van der Beek is what, 22, 23? He just turned 23 not long ago. So he's still young.
Yeah, he's exactly the Dutch Aouar then, isn't he? But
yes, he's got a long way to go. But that's my overall. Obviously, super disappointed with the loss against Man City.
Another chance for a trophy. I know. You don't regard it, but it's still a major trophy.
That's
fair.
Still
one for the cabinet.
That's a fair comment. It's gone.
Yeah, and also, you see Mourinho, like he wasn't soon into, like, I think it was within his first couple of months he won the League Cup, didn't he? Well, Ole, it's been how long?
He's won the League Cup. He did win the Europa League as well.
Yeah, so exactly. In his first season.
Trophies matter.
It begs the question. Is the same with you? Like, do you really trust the process with your team? Like how they ask it to us Arsenal fans, isn't it? Do you trust the process with Ole?
Yeah, I mean, I think currently the only thing kind of saving Ole with the process situation is the fact that we are joint first, second, whatever you want to call it.
Oh yeah, in the league position.
Yeah, if the league form was all over the place, then it would have been
like if that's that early season form. When you lost the 6-1.
The first in the early season. First 3 games.
Yeah, Robert, if you remember way back when we started the podcast, you were discussing about Pochettino and then Ole going out. Exactly. I see how times change so quickly. In football, but
so overall, my week has been decent. I think I'm just happy to go through to the next round of the FA Cup. I think with Watford, they played a lot of their first teamers, but not all of them. The reason being is because they're trying their best to go back into the Premier League, and they are in contention to come back into the Premier League.
Did Ismaila Sarr play? The one.
Sarr played, but Troy didn't play.
Sarr is too good for the Championship. I think he's the top player to come to the Premier League.
Yeah, they played a couple of the youngsters against us because they have their eyes on the Championship.
Yeah, so I'm prioritising the league.
Yeah. So which is fair play. I mean, we're through to the next round, and I believe the draw is coming out tomorrow, and we'll discuss the draw in next week's episode.
Yeah, next week's episode, reaction to that as well.
So that's my review of Manchester United game week. Should we move on to previews for next week?
Previews for next week.
Transfer news.
Let's previews before the transfers.
Yeah. So who talk to me? Who's your next match?
Our next match is actually
we're back in the Premier League, isn't it?
Yeah, back to the Premier League. Obviously, this weekend's been completely dedicated to the FA Cup, so I think they made up with that with the midweek, which I'm glad about, of course.
Yeah.
We want to pick up on the carry on. We have 4 wins in a row now for us in all competitions, so we're flying at the moment. Considering before Christmas, what our form was, it was abysmal, wasn't it? So I'm happy for Mikel that he's actually turning it around. And
before you finish up, right? On my preview, I'm going to talk about Burnley and Liverpool, obviously.
You got 2 games in the week.
Yeah, but the podcast we have on the following Sunday will be when the Liverpool match against Man United finish. Like literally.
Yeah, it's just like you'll have your raw reaction. That's gonna be a very interesting episode next week. I was gonna say, yeah.
So
because you'll either be seething or you feel
probably we'll record the podcast rather than waiting till 7 p.m. We'll message each other. Because 4:30 is the match kickoff, so by 6 o'clock, 6:30 or 6 o'clock roughly, the match will be finished.
Yeah.
So I would like to go on a live podcast straight away.
So as soon as after the match, so you completely.
Yeah. We'll message each other. Sorry, my apologies. You carry on with your thing.
Yeah. Fantastic idea though. Anyway, but yeah. Mikel has gone on a great run of form, like at the moment, like 4 wins in a row in all competitions, like I said. So I think if he can get, like I said, I'm still Arteta out, but
in the Premier League, and in the Premier League, you won the last 3 games.
Yeah, Premier League last 2 games. If you could the FA Cup, even though we dragged it out and made a meal of it for ourselves, but
win is a win.
In the end, a win is a win, and I'm happy for the players like Tierney and Smith Rowe. Oh, by the way, we bought in the player of the game week, didn't we, last week? I think we should touch on that first. The last week you said the player of the week.
Yeah.
I think my player of the week has got to be Emil Smith Rowe. I think just because how he came back from the red card and he actually pushed on and he played better and then he got the goal. It's actually a close. I think Tierney once again he's like I gave Tierney the game of the week player of the week last week. I think this week he's a close second. I think a lot of people would say Tierney and some people say Smith. I think for me personally Smith Rowe because of the way he got the winning goal. Fair. Like he came back in the red card. That's for me. I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you want to say your
for me? The player of the week is really tough because we had 2 sets of teams playing. One set was playing against Man City.
Yeah. So
it was like it was really tough, especially with one set.
Stood out, the whole week.
For me, there was
not Bruno this week, is it?
Yeah, it's definitely not Bruno. For me, nobody really stood out, right? Although, Tuanzebe. When he played against Watford, he was an absolute monster. I'll go as far as to say Donny van der Beek as well, but we expect things from Donny van der Beek. But Tuanzebe, when last time he started for Manchester United, he pocketed Mbappe, and this is So since then, he hasn't made a start for Manchester United. He came on as a substitute here and there, but he started again against Watford, and he had an absolutely brilliant game as well. So I think there's not much for me to kind of pick from because we had 2 sets of teams playing in the 2 games.
Really
as I said, only McTominay was the only one that actually, but he didn't stand out at all. But for me, I think I'll give it to Tuanzebe. I think he offers a bit of dynamic, bit of power in the centre back position, bit of reliability as well versus say Lindelof and Maguire, and we kept a clean sheet. We don't keep clean sheets that often, but we kept a clean sheet.
Yeah, he's also promising you got a young defender you can rely on. Who's quick, pacey, strong.
Yeah,
come in.
Just like with Brandon Williams and Donny van der Beek, I am also confused. Like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, why he doesn't utilize Tuanzebe more?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He's make use of him more. I think.
Yeah. So I'm a bit confused, but hopefully, fingers crossed. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I know you listen to our podcast. Play Tuanzebe more, man.
Yeah, you too, Mikel. Keep playing Smith Rowe. But yeah,
fantastic shout there, Danny. I completely forgot about that segment. Thank you for
no worries. But I think we should make that a regular thing. I know we said about player rating.
Yeah, I'm down for the 100% regular thing.
Player of the week.
I think also let's spice it up a little bit, right?
Yeah,
From next week, we'll do this segment as a player of the week, but we also do the worst player of the week.
Oh, and the stinker of the week. Should we do that now?
Stinker
I don't know who actually dropped the stinker of the week this week. I don't know. Did I say Aubameyang? My one, it'd be cruel.
Okay, so we'll focus on the next episode. We'll add in the stinker of the week.
Yeah, we'll focus on next week because this week I don't think there's that obvious one.
Yeah, so that way we can kind of when we're watching the next set of games, we'll have that back of our head as well.
Yeah, because that's what I'm saying. Because Aubameyang dropped a stinker overall, but he still got a goal, so I can't really slate him.
That's a new segment coming up next week.
Yeah. So listeners, that's a teaser for the
and
next
and
ones. But
and 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 I know YouTube is a bit difficult in the sense that when I post it, there is no artwork or anything interaction.
oh yeah, I saw
When we
that. Yeah.
move on to Twitch, we're gonna have all of that on the screen for you guys. We're gonna be interacting with you guys.
Oh,
Player of
is
the
it tailor
week.
made for that?
Yeah.
I'm guessing. Yeah.
There is a voting system as well. I can
Oh,
put a
fantastic.
poll on the stream, and
Yeah.
we can have
They
an
the listeners can vote for their player of the
yeah,
week as
yeah.
well,
They
not just
we'll have
that
two separate votes for that section. Listeners voting in for Player of the Week and Stinker of the Week in terms of Arsenal and Manchester
stinker
United.
of the week. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
loving it.
So Twitch allows me to do that, whereas YouTube doesn't allow me to do that. So I'm preparing all of that in the background. I'm doing the bit of artwork, bit of the
Mm.
settings in the background. But end of January we got ample space, so for me to work in. But Danny,
Yeah.
talk to me about your prediction, your next game, Arsenal versus Crystal Palace, because I'm sure you can hear the baby waking
Yeah,
up
yeah,
in the
no worries, no
background.
worries. You
So I'm
can mute
gonna
your mic.
leave
It's
you on the
fine.
floor for 5 minutes.
Yeah, fine. That's cool. Anyway, yeah, we're in good form right now, and I think we need to take that forward into Crystal Palace. We're playing at a weird time on the Thursday. I think if we go ahead and play the strong team, we bring back the likes of Gabriel, Magalhaes, Thomas Partey. I think they need to step in, and I think they should go straight back into the lineup. If you know what I'm saying, I think Burnley needs to start again. It's not even a question. We ain't really got any other goalkeepers. We've got, I think Gabriel. Like I said in the last episode, the debate over whether Gabriel and Mari should play together. I don't know what Arteta's going to do because Paulo Mari stepped in, and like I said, he's been a fantastic job. I think it'll be cruel to drop him now because he's come in, he's quietly been confident, and he's done his job, and I can't fault him for that. But they're both left-footed, left-sided centre backs, so
Mm,
like from a tactical viewpoint, I don't know how that's going to work. We'll have to figure out how to go about that. But
mm.
Holding, I think will come back into the frame of things. Me personally, I don't think is anything fantastic, but I think Mikel seems to like him, so I think he wasn't in the FA
That's
Cup
fair.
squad yesterday, so I think he'll bring him back in. He might
Mm,
be holding and Mario holding and Gabriel. I don't know, and David Luiz is there as an option as well.
yeah.
I think Mustafi can't be an option. I think he's finished. But I mean,
I don't think he even exists anymore. I don't know where
yeah,
what
I
happened.
mean, yeah, I know he's a clown. I think he should just go. He's pushing to go anyway, which he's
Fair.
another one of the pieces of deadwood that needs to go.
Yeah.
He's not the Mustafi of 5 years ago. I think he needs to go. But Kieran Tierney, obviously, that's not even a debate.
Your
I don't.
captain.
Yeah, future captain, my flipping left back. And we don't even have any other left back. Like I said, we loaned that Kolasinac. We don't have any other left back, so it's going to be a weird one. Hopefully, he can stay fit. And
But
we
the
don't have any.
good thing is that the first half of the season was all the fixture pile up, but right now we're almost back into normal fixtures, as in teams
But
are
I mean,
getting rest.
FA Cup's coming into the equation. But I mean, I know
Yeah,
what you mean.
yeah, because you've only got
And they,
you got a game on Thursday, which is the Crystal Palace you're talking about. You've had
yeah,
like
yeah,
a 5 days rest now, isn't it, from the game that
yeah,
you
yeah, exactly. Yeah, but
going to
yeah,
and
so
then
this month, I think, yeah, we were all right. It's just
yeah,
league.
then you have another 3 days rest before you face Newcastle, which is the following Monday.
Yeah,
So a
it's
bit of
weird.
a
We're playing on the
respite.
Thursday and the Mondays. It's weird. Our schedule's like it's got weird, isn't it? Because we're not playing on the weekend. We're playing either side of it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
you guys obviously playing midweek and then the weekend, I think,
yeah,
aren't you?
yeah,
So it's weird for us. That's what I'm saying. The Monday one, I'll obviously have to preview in the next episode. The
yeah,
Sunday
yeah,
before, the day before. But
yeah, yeah,
for now, I'll preview this game.
yeah.
Like I said, Kieran Tierney has to start. I think we need to get. There's a couple of backup options we need to assign it transfers wise. I don't know if Mikel's going to go ahead and do that, and I do, but.
Mm.
Kieran Tierney has to start. That's not even a debate. Yesterday he played 120 minutes. Not ideal for him, but
Mm.
he can get his fitness going. Hopefully, like you said, 5 days rest.
Yeah,
He can come back and start again. But I mean, we're going to be depending on him a lot this season, especially because Kolasinac's gone now.
yeah, yeah,
We don't have anyone to step in there. So I know Maitland-Niles can play on probably either side, but I don't. Mikel doesn't seem to play him. I think Hector Bellerin will probably come back in.
yeah.
In the recent recovery of form, I think he's stepping into a decent job. I don't think he's the answer, particularly like he's one of those players. He's like Ozil. Under Wenger, he was a better player. But I
I
think
see.
since he suited Wenger's style of playing more. I think since he's gone, I don't think he suited Emery and especially Arteta's style of play. He was out of
Mm.
form, but I think he's slowly but surely finding his way back in. And Mikel obviously loves him. He's like our McTominay, he starts no matter what. But I mean, in the cup he gave him a rest, fair enough. But in the league he'll start no matter what. If
Yeah,
he's available. Granted, Xhaka will probably come back in. And there's been a lot of debate about who should be in that midfield because we've got Xhaka, Partey, Ceballos, we've got El Neni
mm.
there. Obviously, Partey's fit now, so who should we go for there? I think Xhaka and Partey could be like something to try out.
Yeah, I
we should
think
experiment because
what I was thinking, Partey and Xhaka will be a good sort of
yeah,
midfield
they're
pair.
both strong.
Yeah,
Agile. Like I wouldn't
they
say.
complement each other, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. What Xhaka lacks, like he lacks agility, for example, and that
Yeah,
athletic prowess
yeah,
to be mobile. Partey's got that. He makes up for it, doesn't he? So
yeah,
even Partey and El Neni, like against you guys, Old Trafford. Sorry to remind you about that,
yeah. I
but
remember they absolutely
yeah,
dominated us.
that midfield was class. Even El Neni, like I don't think he's I don't think he's particularly class, but
Yeah,
he was allowed to do what he wanted because Partey was there with him. You know what I'm saying? It's about the right partnership, just like
yeah, yeah,
like a defensive partnership as well. So I
yeah,
think it's key that we get that midfield. I think he probably go with Xhaka and Partey, if we're being honest, because especially considering that Xhaka had a great performance yesterday. But he came off the bench and he basically put in the pass that won us the game. So I think he probably go with Xhaka and Partey. We got Ceballos there as well. I don't know if he'll come in or not. We'll have to wait and see. But he'll give us a bit of creativity. He'll probably be on the bench. I think it'll be Xhaka and Partey, and we got
absolutely.
El Neni and Sebastian as an option.
Mm.
Obviously, there's a debate. Like I said, the winger is going to be a bit weird. The wingers, because, like I said, we don't know how long Martinelli's out for. He probably is going to be out of this Palace game. Let's be real, at least. Like if it's a grade 1 ankle tear, then he'll be out for maybe 2-3 weeks. But it could be something severe like a grade 3.
Yeah, yeah. It should
That
be
could be rest of
finished.
the season,
Yeah,
6 months, which I'm really scared about. So I hope the best for him. I saw David Luiz post Instagram post after saying, "This win was for you, my little bro. We love you." So fair
mm.
play to David Luiz.
Mm.
Like they seem to have a really close bond with each other,
Mm.
which is about Brazilian, and they can expect that. But
Yeah, yeah,
like I said again, best wishes to him. But he'll be out of this game, so he just begs the question: do we bring Nicolas Pepe back in to play on that wing? I think we should. Me personally, I don't know what Arteta is going to do because I don't think he played particularly well yesterday. But overall, I think, like I said before, he needs a run of games, doesn't he? Especially in
yeah.
the league. I think Pepe, I think we should, in the camp, we definitely Smith Rowe. It's not even a question now. If we escape the suspension, escape the red card,
Mm.
get him in there. Innit? So, and then
Mm.
left wing up, either Aubameyang maybe. I don't really know what's happened to Aubameyang recently. I know he got the goal, but I think even if it's just a
For sure,
stinky,
Lacazette will be starting.
yeah,
Surely.
Lacazette has to. That's what I was
Yeah,
going to say. Lacazette has to be the number 9. He's in form.
yeah,
He's firing. Like if he came back to me from an episode like a month or two ago, I was saying drop him because he hasn't been. He's been
yeah.
dropping, missing easy chances. But I think he's clearly been working hard on his finishing in the training ground. So
Agreed.
yeah, I think he should definitely come and be the number 9. Maybe a Aubameyang on the wing, maybe because I don't know if centrally is the way for him to go. I don't think he's a target man particularly like
Mm.
Lacazette could be. But Aubameyang, he's out of form. But he got that stinky goal. You know what I mean? Like it's not a nice, it's an ugly goal. But he got the
A
goal.
goal is goal. Yeah, that's what
Yeah,
strikes
goal.
me
He's got
sometimes.
the kind of goal. It's not anything fancy, but he's going to give him
Yeah,
the confidence, isn't he? Like
yeah, yeah. That's what
I'm a
strikers like.
drought.
Goals.
Yeah, like that's why I'm praising my guy Kieran Tierney, because he put in the pass to end Orba's goal drought.
Yeah,
So massive props to him. He's literally, that's what I'm saying. He's got captain mentality. He's feeding
yeah.
our players with all this confidence that they're lacking. So yeah, that'll be my lot. Aubameyang, Pepe, Smith Rowe, Lacazette, or maybe either Aubameyang or Saka. He's going to have to decide there, isn't he? Because Saka is obviously in form as well.
Mm.
So I have to see what Mikel decides. I don't know. Saka's more informed than Aubameyang, so it's going to be a dilemma. I reckon, knowing Mikel, he'd probably drop Pepe, wouldn't he? He'd probably
Mm.
go Saka and
Yeah,
Aubameyang
it's
on the
probably
wings.
yeah.
It's between them three. Isn't it? 2 out of them 3 will start.
Yeah.
Aubameyang,
Bef-
Pepe, and
yeah,
Saka.
awesome.
But
Before we
yeah,
get
that's
into
me.
your score prediction,
Yeah, yeah.
I'm just gonna read you at the table, right? So
Yeah,
Crystal
go ahead. Yeah.
Palace are one
Mm-hmm.
point behind you guys. So it's a
Oh, wow.
must-win game for you
It's
guys.
still close to us. Yeah.
Yeah,
Must-win game. Like I said,
yeah.
we're still
Because
11.
if Crystal Palace
Mm-hmm.
win, they go ahead of you guys, right? And
Yeah, of course.
Arsenal's
Yeah.
back to wherever they need to be.
Yeah.
Because you've got Crystal Palace on 22 points, you got Wolves on 22 points, you got Leeds on 23 points, and
Mm-hmm.
you got Arsenal at 23 points.
Yeah,
So if
yeah.
Arsenal lose and Crystal Palace, Wolves, and Leeds end up winning, you could drop back down into 14th place, which will
Oh
bring
my
you
God, there's
closer
a
to
backward step, especially considering the form we've like
yeah.
recovered now.
And
So,
not to mention Newcastle have got a game in hand and they're on 19
oh God.
points.
Yeah,
And
and we're playing them
you guys
after. Yeah,
play them the
exactly.
following week. So this is
Yeah,
a
yeah.
must-win game for Arsenal,
Yeah, so
regardless.
every game is must win now because, like I said, we're having to make up for the damage that we caused
In
in
the beginning, yeah.
October,
Yeah.
November, bar the United win. All those defeats at home, especially those Sunday nights after the Europa League,
Yeah,
we were
which
losing
which was the
week in
best
week
time
out.
of my life when
It's
Arsenal
probably
was
the best
top
time
of
for you.
things.
Yeah, thanks a lot, mate. But horrible for us. I was just there tuning into AFTV for therapy. You know what I mean? Because they're DT and all them would be my flipping therapy because I was streaming those days. I
Yeah.
just it seems weird, but it felt like I was falling out of love with football. You know what I mean? You know, that
Yeah, no, I
that
can
flipping
imagine
me.
a lot of the Arsenal fans.
Obviously, I kept telling myself, yeah, I got flipping football podcast. I can't afford to
Yeah,
lose
yeah,
my eventual, follow my football team. Obviously, that's the life of being a football fan, isn't it? You got to follow your team to thick and thin, and even if they're the worst form of their
yeah,
lives, which
yeah.
it's
You're
the
gonna have
worst.
to. Yeah.
It's probably some of the worst form I've seen in my life. Definitely, like that run of form. But I'm still Arteta out for that damage he caused. That
Mm.
because that could really seriously harm that season at the end of it. Because now
Yeah,
every single game is like a cup final, and this pressure. It's like, every single game has to be 3 points, 3 points, 3 points, and
it
that
has to.
starts with
It
the
has to be. Yeah.
Palace game. It has to be, and like I said, I said about our lineup, but one thing, like I said, you said before about Wilfried Zaha, he is always fired up against Arsenal, always,
Mm.
because he supports us. He's actually an Arsenal fan, so that's what I'm saying. It would have been great for him to play for us, but to prove a point, he's always there. I think he's scored a couple of times against us in the past.
Mm.
And
Mm.
he's always fired up. He's going to come. I think he's at the Emirates, yeah. So he's going to come to that fired up, and he's going to
Mm.
really test our defense. Especially people like Pablo Mari. Like, he's strong, but he's slow. Is he going to be able to deal with Zaha getting behind him? And Palace are one of those teams. It's unpredictable, isn't it? They'll either drop a stinker, or they get someone like Zaha in, and then you don't know what's going to happen. But we see the team that's lost to flipping Burnley, this Arsenal
Yeah.
side. So I can never get too excited, but my score prediction's got to be 3-1 to Arsenal. I'm confident.
Okay, I'll hold
Yeah,
you to that.
yeah, I definitely do. But I
Yeah.
think Zaha will probably get a goal, knowing him. But I think we can still win.
Yeah.
But don't forget, they did beat you guys in there.
Yeah. 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 True.
Gotta be
So,
careful on it. But yeah, I'm
yeah.
hopeful for that game because of the form we're in, basically.
So my match preview for Burnley and Liverpool coming up, right?
Yeah, but
So
and Liverpool, the big one, that's a huge one
yeah.
for you.
So with Burnley's game against Manchester United is actually our game in hand.
Oh, is that still that? No, you're playing twice this week, and we're playing. Okay, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah. So this because we're on the 16th game, and I think because
Yeah.
of the COVID situation, that game, Burnley game in the beginning of the season, got pushed around until
Oh,
I
yes,
think
one of those
last week.
COVID affected ones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
last week it was confirmed that we're going to be playing Burnley on
Mhm.
that match week, and that is our game in hand. For
Yeah.
me personally, like obviously with the league table, we are 33 points with Liverpool as well, 33 points.
Yeah.
However, we do have a game in hand, which
Yeah.
does mean that if we win if we win the game in hand, if we win the game in hand,
Yeah.
if we win the game in hand, we will go 3 points ahead.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's a bit of added impetus, added pressure, isn't there? Because they can make up the points that
Yeah, yeah.
you was going to collect.
So I am comfortable like we're gonna win this game against Burnley because they are a very poor team this season.
Yeah, poor, but I mean, they can turn up like they did against us.
Yeah,
like I
they
said
can
before.
turn up. However,
Is it at their ground? I think it's at their ground, isn't it? Turf
yeah,
Moor?
yeah. I
So
think
they'll just shut up shop, won't they? Sean Dyche Paul. He's just
yeah.
gonna...
I think the thing with Burnley is that we've rested a lot of our players in the FA Cup tie.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah. So you
So
can
like
go back to full strength.
and Pogba and except
Rashford, I think he got
yeah.
some much rest.
So we're gonna have we're gonna have the whole team on fresh legs because this is the first time we managed to rest a lot of our team since the beginning of the season. So and some of the players were looking tired, like your Aaron Wan-Bissaka's and everyone.
Yeah.
But I think with the Burnley game, every single player knows how much that game is at stake because winning against Burnley means that we're going to be 3 points ahead of Liverpool, which puts pressure.
Yeah, so that's a big pressure. It's a big game for you. The
Yes,
Burnley
which
game,
puts
there's no
pressure
saying that.
back into Liverpool. It's a must-win game for Liverpool going into the following weekend because they're going to be 3 points behind us, and if they end up losing to us, they'll be 6 points behind us. If that makes sense. So with the Burnley game, I expect a strong lineup. I expect everyone that was missing over the FA Cup tie to be playing. So I'm not going to mention too many of the players because I'm going to focus on the Liverpool game. But I expect to see the likes of Pogba returning, Martial, Rashford, Bruno Fernandes.
One thing, do you reckon you'll be like similar teams between both matches? Because obviously like you said, you got your full strength players.
Yeah, I think it's going to be similar team that we played against Man City. So pretty much everyone. I think Bailly picked up a bit of a head injury the other day, so I think he will be rested for Burnley game. Burnley game is not.
Was a knock? Was it injury or just a bit of?
It's a head knock or something like that.
So just a precaution.
I think he's going to be too much at risk to be playing against Burnley.
Yeah. Maybe for
the Liverpool game because we got the Liverpool game the following week. Following game. For me, I think we're going to win 2-0 against Burnley. I think generally speaking, I think Burnley will defend deep, but we're going to have too much quality going forward for them. And I think the first goal going in for Manchester United is going to be the important one, because that will mean Burnley need to come out and attack us. And that will be it. Moving swiftly on to the Liverpool game. That is a massive game. The match
that is a title decider, isn't it? Could well be.
It's not going to be the title decider, but it's going to be a massive sort of.
It's one of those games that's going to be. It's going to come back to the end of the season. You're going to think, oh,
yeah, it's one of those
games. That could be a big meaning for it.
If Manchester United win, it's going to be a big morale boost for the club. Liverpool will feel deflated. It's one of those games because they're going to be 6 points behind us, assuming we win against Burnley.
Yeah,
which is a bit of a gap, right? And Liverpool still got to play the likes of Arsenal, Man City. So someone's going to be dropping points somewhere.
Yeah.
They're going to be chasing us, right?
Mm-hmm.
And for me, that game, even if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer decides to rest half the team against Burnley, I am fine, because we do have squad depth with Donny van der Beek and etc.
Yeah, you probably should be able to pull out
that game should be the most the full strength, no matter what. I expect Bruno Fernandes. Again, I'm not going to go into too much detail because of the baby.
No worries.
But I expect a 4-3-3-1. Bruno Fernandes, Pogba, McFred, Lindelof. Not Lindelof. Maguire.
McFred.
That's going to be important. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Luke Shaw, Martial, Rashford. Did I mention who else am I missing? Yeah, that's it. McFred. Yeah.
By the way, is Cavani getting back to his ban as well? I think that's
Cavani's back from the ban, so I expect
he's available for the next game.
Yeah. So I hope he gets a bit of a game time against Burnley. I don't think he'll start against Burnley. However, to protect probably Martial against Liverpool, I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer might tinker around, because we do have Liverpool in a few days. We play Burnley on Tuesday. We have Liverpool on Sunday. Liverpool from last week Friday. That's the FA Cup tie, isn't it? Friday that went past into the following Sunday, they would have had about 8 days rest before they face.
Oh yeah, that is not fair, is it?
Yeah,
Ole's gonna say something about that, I'm sure.
Yeah. However, that will make the victory a bit sweeter if we can defeat them.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Like
a 7-8 days rest, and we've had like a 3-day rest and going into the game.
Just all I can say is best of luck to you, because it's going to be an emotional roller coaster either way, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that this is the biggest game of the season, because it's first, second. It's massive rivalry anyway, Manchester and Liverpool. I think with all the excitement for the game, I think it's going to end into a 1-1 draw. I think Manchester.
It's one of those, you hype it up a lot and then you end up with a draw. But
yeah, exactly. I think with Manchester United, if they win against Burnley, they will think to themselves, "Hang on, get a draw. We're still 3 points ahead, and we got a draw against Liverpool away to Liverpool in Anfield in the Premier League. The pressure is still going to be on Liverpool." But I think it's going to be a 1-1 draw. However, I would love it if we can win. I will do a raw match review after the game on the next episode 10, I believe.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's my match previews done for the week. Should we move on quickly on to
transfers? And I think I wanted to discuss about the lockdowns effect. I think just quickly we'll touch on that, but. Yeah, before we obviously to start off the transfer section.
No, let's start off the lockdown, because that's not going to be a massive subject. Transfer the bigger one.
Yes, that's no problem. Yeah. So it's in terms of the lockdown, like it was in the new national lockdown. There's been the whispers that football could be affected. They could take a circuit break. I think they reiterated. Boris himself said that elite sport will continue. And there's been reiterations that they won't take a circuit break. But you see, the instances like. Derby County and Aston Villa in the FA Cup, that to actually, Aston Villa, I think they had a mass outbreak in their training ground. So likes of Jack Grealish, Dean Smith, all the main first team players had to go into self-isolation. I think 10 players tested positive, something stupid like that. But everyone that was in that first team squad, regardless of if they had the virus or not, had to self-isolate. So Aston Villa had to send that entire youth team out. I don't know. What do you think about that? Against Liverpool as well.
I mean, what I think about it is that football should continue. I think footballers have a responsibility. I've seen pictures across the week where they went on New Year's party and everything, and that's breaking the law. With some footballers, football clubs.
It's careless, isn't it? But
careless, yeah. So for me, football should continue. If they have to postpone the game. But I think it's the responsibility of the players and the club, especially the players, to know that there is a lockdown. So why are you going out partying? Why are you having Christmas parties or New Year's Day party when you know there is a lockdown? And it just needs one person to catch the virus, and that's it. I think.
Yeah.
I
And
think
like I
that's
said, there's before you touch on the next thing, like there's actually been record positive cases in the Premier League. I don't know if you know about that. Like it's more than any time. I know the cases in general are through the roof again, but even in the Premier League, there's been plenty of positive cases. So do you think I'll push them?
You know what? I think for footballers, they're in a very good bubble, right? They're in a privileged position of getting doctors anytime,
And their mass test, they test
every day
regularly, don't
getting
they?
COVID tests and everything. Whereas we
Yeah.
are still waiting for our things as
And we
normal.
can barely even get a test,
Yeah,
let
yeah. So
alone,
I think that is the advantage that they have, and it is the responsibility to self-isolate. And
Mhm.
you know what? The footballers live in mansions, right? For them, self-isolating is like holiday.
Yeah, like
Yes.
I've got my home cinema. I can watch movies at
Yeah,
home. Good.
exactly. So for me, I think football should continue. If there is a
Hopefully, I mean, it is a business, and they got the appropriate protocols. Like in the
yeah,
like
yeah,
in the first,
everyone's got protocols, everyone's working, and if they feel that need to sneak out and have a bit of a party, and then they get reprimanded for it.
yeah, and
So,
that's their
so
detriment, and
yeah,
yeah, they're harming everyone else, like the rest of us. But at the end of the day, if you look at the first lockdown when the virus was new and unknown, they're
mm,
still the Premier League. Like thanks to them, like they fair play to them. Like they found a good way to actually bring the football back, like to keep us entertained. I know
yeah,
the first two or
and
3 months
they're
there was
they're in a
circuit break, but then
and to be
brought it back,
frank,
didn't they?
yeah, they're in a very good bubble as well. Their bubble is
Mm-hmm.
exceptional, right? As I
Yeah,
said, they have doctors available 24/7, personal
mm-hmm.
doctors available, COVID test is every day.
Yeah.
So they're in a very privileged position, and I think that
Mm.
they should not take advantage and be very responsible for their actions as well.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, the lockdown is like similar to the first one. If they can bring it back in the first one, I don't
Yeah,
see the reason to stop it again now. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Especially if they're sticking to the rules and abiding by the
yeah.
protocols in it.
And guaranteed, right? You saw a lot of you saw a bit of a mass outbreak in football recently, right? It
Yeah,
begs
that's
the
like I
question.
said. Yeah.
It begs the question, right? It begs the
Mhm.
question. The symptom takes roughly 2 weeks to notice, right?
Yeah. It's like some people
So,
are asymptomatic, aren't they? That's what
yeah.
it
So
is.
what 2 weeks from now, from
Yeah.
today, as of now, 2 weeks ago, it was
Yeah.
the week of Christmas and New Year's. So
Yeah.
clearly, these
Yeah.
players
Clearly,
that are
there's a link. Is
they
there's a
went
lag.
out and had a bit of a party,
Yeah.
on the
For us,
low.
it's Christmas. Let's just do a one-off in it, but
Yeah,
then
yeah.
it's cost
So
them in the long term.
yeah, so I mean, everybody had to cancel a lot of religious events and be responsible. Like we had to cancel Eid,
People were celebrating, and
yeah,
it,
birthdays, Eid, and I'm sure a lot of religious events. So Christmas, they
And
should
that
have
could
done
you
it.
say same for this year. I know it's not particularly football related, but like we got Ramadan, everything coming on three
Yeah,
months. So
yeah.
you see if it has a knock on effect to
Yeah,
that, innit,
players
really.
should celebrate with their family, not go out partying like we've seen pictures pop out on social media that they're partying
Yeah,
outside with other
exactly.
players.
Yeah.
So that's the my take on this subject. Should we move on to? I know we haven't got very long left.
You
Uh,
haven't got very long left, but it's just a transfer section, it really. I know there's a lot of transfers to go through. We'll try and get through as fast as we can for you.
yeah.
And yeah,
You start off.
there's
You start off.
yeah,
Yeah.
but obviously, like I said, the first main topic we want to cover in the transfer section is Mesut Ozil. Like I think it's such like I wanted to speak about his legacy and what he's going to leave behind at the club. You know, like I said, he's his 8 years he's been here now, and the last 2 3 years it's really been tainted, hasn't it? Like you see how much Mesut Ozil loved. I mean, I'm not sorry, Arsene Wenger loved Mesut Ozil. He brought him in on that deadline day, that glorious deadline day in 2013, and he came in and at that time he's one of the world's best players. Like I remember I was only like 13 at the time, and I was absolutely buzzing. The whole Arsenal fan base was absolutely loving it. And he came in first couple of seasons absolutely fantastic. You know, he came from assisting Ronaldo to assisting Olivier Giroud. You know what I'm saying? But he came in and he ended our trophy drought. By the way, he's the most decorated player of the Emirates era. So it
Mm.
begs the question: do
I
we
think
consider?
it was a big disrespect on how as
Yeah,
Ozil.
like I was going to get onto that. I think it's so like abysmal how the club's treated him. Like he's one of my favorite players ever, especially as an Arsenal fan. Seeing,
And you know what?
is
I hope whatever club he goes to, I hope
yeah,
he reveals everything what has happened.
yeah. I hope that we find out the truth about it because it's just not. It's like like I said before, he came out about the Uyghur Muslims and in defense of them,
Yeah,
which you can expect him to do.
the
He's
human
Muslim like
rights. Yeah.
us. He's human rights, and he feels injustice just like we do as Muslims. You know, we can relate to that, and he stuck to his faith. So fair play to him. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Even in the midst of all this, like I think something happened. Like there's been rumors that the China, like they said, they'll take away the
The
Arsenal
sponsorship.
TV
Yeah.
rights. if Ozil if Ozil plays. So I think the Kroenke family, being as selfish as they are, therefore that's part of our income going away. So we got to force Arteta to take. And Arteta's going to be our puppet, because I don't believe Arteta for a second when he says, I left Ozil out for footballing reasons, because this whole season we've been crying out for a number 10. You know what I'm saying? We got Emile Smith Rowe in there, and we needed a number 10 in there to help him out, to rotate with him. I said it before, like Ozil should have been brought back at least as a rotation, at the very least as a rotation option. But I think David Ornstein said on his Twitter that we're going with Ozil out of the picture. We're going to go and try and sign a world-class number 10, world-class specifically said. So it begs the question, doesn't it? But I'll get onto that like after I've done talking about Mesut Ozil. But I think I saw his brother, Mutlu Ozil, his name I think he is. He posted on his Instagram story the Fenerbahce badge, the Turkish club, and he just posted a winky face emoji, and it just really makes me feel really sad, really, me personally, because like I said, Ozil is inspirational for people like me, especially a Muslim supporting Arsenal and seeing him being such a great footballer for us, ending our trophy drought, the most decorated player of the Emirates era. So do we consider him as a club legend? I think a lot of Arsenal fans would say, especially the older ones, would say probably not, especially with Henry and Bergkamp being there. I think Henry and Bergkamp were another level, weren't they? Like, I think they're the top, very all-time favourite best players. But in terms of the Emirates era, I think Mesut Ozil and Alexis Sanchez was the best duo since Henry and Bergkamp. I mean, I think a lot of Arsenals agree with that. But I mean, Ozil's the most decorated player of the Emirates era, so I think put some respect on his name. That's what I say. I think it's very sad how it's ending with him, but I think if he goes to Fenerbahce, I think he's going back to his homeland.
Turkey.
I mean, his Germany internationally was, but I mean, his background in Turkey, isn't it? So So I think he's going to enjoy going back there and like spreading his brand.
I'm sure the club would appreciate his.
Yeah, I wish him the very best, and I'm really, really sad, about it. Like it's really sad.
We'll find out very soon, anyway.
We'll find out very soon, yeah. But it seems like it's imminent. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
Okay.
Fabrizio Romano did come out.
Moving on swiftly, Danny.
Yeah, I'll move on swiftly. Like I said, he's the most decorated player. So he's got 4 FA Cups, and he's started a new era for us. So fair play to him. He gave us one of our best eras in the Emirates.
So let's move on. Distraction in the background. We got to move on really, really quick.
Yeah, move it quickly. I'm just going to go on to the more outgoings. Fabrizio Romano, like he said we want to sell Ozil immediately to Fenerbahce. And Socrates Papastathopoulos, another Greek defender who's also left out of the 25-man squad with Ozil. I heard Fenerbahce in frame, and also Genoa from Italy. So I think him. And also I want to. I'm really angry to hear about William Saliba being loaned out to Nice, because I think he was one of the defenders like Fofana at Leicester and should have came in and made an impression in the lineup, in the starting lineup. So I think he should at least have been given a chance. But I think it's 6 months of his development down the drain, isn't it, really? Because he came back from his initial loan at Saint Etienne, and he was promised that he's going to come back into the lineup. He wasn't brought back in. So, but I wish him the very best at Nice. He's back home in France. Hopefully that'll help him with his mental health, with him losing parents and everything. I wish him the best there. Guendouzi's still out on loan. He's balling. Do we recall him? It's a question of that. Lucas Torreira is another option. There's another one there. And like I said, outgoings are a priority for Arsenal right now. Mustafi, is he going to go? Who else is there? I think that's all of the deadwood that we're not using, basically. And let me just look up the incomings that we're rumoured with. Buendia's continuing to be linked. We've got Julian Brandt, who's also linked. Julian Draxler. Again, we've been linked with him like 5 years ago. Again, he pops up again. You know what I'm saying? Carlos Soler is another one. I don't even know too much about him. He plays for Valencia. He plays on that right mid-stroke cam position. Sabitzer. There's a Sevilla player called Joan Jordan who's been linked as well. There's a lot of playmaking. I think that's a priority, like Ornstein said, to get the attacking player in. Especially, but I think Arteta, what he wants to do, his intention is to get the deadwood out first. And then he can use that money to bring in the better creative players. And there's been one centre forward that I'll say lastly that we've been linked with, Patson Daka from RB Salzburg, who's I think he played Erling Haaland last season before he came to Dortmund. And he's a really promising young African striker. I think if he came in and competed with Lacazette, that could be an option. Eddie Nketiah and Folarin Balogun will be linked with moves away. Most of our Arsenal fans rate Balogun more. So people are thinking if he goes away and we let his deal run out, he might become the Serge Gnabry part 2, which is out of fear. And Eddie Nketiah was linked to the move away. Apparently we wanted 30 million for him, which is, he hasn't been that great for us. But he's an under 23 England top scorer. But for Arsenal, he hasn't been amazing for us. Like I said before, we rate Balogun more. But if you got to consider, if Liverpool are saying Ryan Brewster to Sheffield United when he hasn't even played for Liverpool barely in the first team for 23 million, then maybe it is right selling Nketiah for 30 million. Do you know what I mean? And West Ham are interested because they sold Hala, didn't they, to Ajax, which is another thing altogether. But I think Fabrizio did come out and say that we're not interested to sell Nketiah for that money, even though the rumours have been flying around. But I think that's all we've got this week. I mean, there's a lot going around for us, but that's incoming. Outgoings are the priority, but that's our transfers for this week. Over to you.
Yes. So I'm gonna make
There's a lot. I tried to go through as fast as possible.
Yeah, so I'm gonna make my one very brief, right? So Moises Caicedo was the one that we talked about last week on episode 7, I believe, or episode 8. Sorry. And he's pretty much been confirmed to be going to Brighton now. Fabrizio Romano came out and tweeted out confirming.
Commiserations for that.
Yeah, not really. Yeah, I guess not really. Disappointing.
It's not that gutting, but I mean,
but it just shows his sort of mentality as well, that he probably to choose Brighton over Manchester United. I'm not quite sure. Regards to further outs, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, this is confirmed news as well. So this is not rumours. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer come out and said that Rojo and Romero will be leaving the club this January. United are actively looking to.
I think they have surplus, aren't they, to requirements?
Yeah. So he's going to be looking to move them on quickly, along with Timothy Fosu-Mensah, who's a fringe player for us, and I think he needs to leave. But the new rumours that's come out of the last day or even today was Boubakary Samari, another CDM.
He's good.
He's got 18 months left on his contract, so he feels that the club feels that we're going to be getting him on a cheap, potentially.
We've previously been linked with him, so
around £21 million.
Yeah, he's cheap.
Obviously, potentially we have seen the last of Jesse Lingard yesterday when he played. It does look like he's going to move on very, very soon.
You think he'll move this month, you reckon?
Yeah, most likely. Inter Milan are rumoured to be interested with Lukaku, and Ashley Young recommended Jesse Lingard to Antonio Conte to go in. But in regards to Manchester United news, the three outgoings, confirmed breaking news outgoings is Rojo, Romero, and Timothy Fosu-Mensah, with a potential outgoing for Jesse Lingard. In terms of incoming,
all permanently out.
Yeah, all perms. Cool. Jesse Lingard does seem like it's going to be a loan move, so it's not been confirmed, but that is rumours. But in terms of incoming, only two real incomings. Well, one real incoming is Sumari this week, with obviously Moises Caicedo was at one point until a couple of days ago. Where Romano came out and confirmed that Manchester United are no longer interested in him. But let's see, we've got a few sort of weeks to go still in the transfer window. A lot can change, can happen.
Yeah, is that all your transfers?
That's all my transfer, and that's
I think before we just wanted to touch on that last topic about Wilfried Zaha. We said we should just one final thing about what do you think about what he came out with, and he said that Unai Emery actually spoke to me. And then they obviously opted to go for Pepe instead.
Look, I think even looking back on the time, if you say Pepe or Zaha, everyone would have said Pepe still, because he's
2019.
He's smashing it down there. But obviously, right now you've got Pepe. He's not doing well.
He's not getting game time.
Yeah, so everyone's kind of thinking, oh, okay, I'd rather we should have taken.
You see, the thing is with Zaha, I would have taken him in 2019 when he was like 26. He's entering his prime, but now he's in his prime. He's a bit risky.
Zaha, there is a big move coming up very soon.
He deserves a big move. Whether it's to Arsenal, we'll have to wait and see.
It's much like Jack Grealish for Aston Villa, Declan Rice for
big
West Ham.
move for them. Like they deserve better.
Big moves are probably coming for them very soon.
Grealish could come to United, Liverpool, Arsenal. One of them will have to wait and see.
So
both of them will be expensive.
With the Pepe situation, my final thought on it is that give him a big run of games, and then after that, no excuses.
Yeah, exactly. So if he still performs, then it doesn't perform, then we can say it wasn't as worth it as Zaha would have been. But right now, I think we should just continue with Pepe and see how it goes. I think Zaha, big move coming up for him. We'll have to keep our tabs on that one, won't we? So,
Are we all done?
Yeah, I think that's it. I think we've covered everything.
Yeah, so that's episode 9, I believe. Are we on
episode 9? Yeah, go ahead and stream it on all the platforms. Like I said, you'll be out on your channel tomorrow, only 8
tomorrow
8 p.m. on Monday evening. Yeah, so Monday evening for everyone who's listening on my platform.
Every Mondays, I'm going to upload my podcast at 8 p.m. This podcast.
Yeah.
Going forward, I've been doing that last few weeks anyway. On Mondays, I aim to upload on Monday. But your one will be uploaded immediately on a Sunday.
Yeah,
Going
once I've obviously edited all the segments
Yeah,
and
yeah.
everything, done
So
all
your
that.
one would be solid almost a day before me.
Yeah,
By the time
almost.
we
Yeah.
record and upload it, so which is you support it is a podcast, so your one
Yeah.
should be given a priority because it's a
And
podcast.
yes, Project Pocket. I'm just happy that we're extending our platforms, like we said before, about extending to Twitter and hopefully
Yeah,
TikTok soon, and obviously
yeah,
Twitch. Hopefully, we get to Twitch podcasting live on there by the end
yeah,
of the month. So keep
yeah,
an eye out for that, everyone.
yeah. But anyway, thank you so much for everyone that's joined in. Sorry, to listening in. I
Yeah.
hope it was all informative. Hope it was fun.
Yeah, hope you're having a
Um,
great year so far. Try and enjoy lockdown. Try to stay
yeah,
safe,
stay
stay happy,
safe
stay
and stay
healthy.
healthy. And that's me done.
Yeah,
Peace.
that's me. Peace out, bro. See you next
Take care.
episode.
Take care. See you
Take
next
care,
episode.
bro.
Bye.
See you.